Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Watch News Weekly. My name is Adrian. I'm sitting here with my co-pilot, Mr. Chrono Kev, the customer service king, and we're filling in for Roman. He is currently away on travels, bringing you this week's edition of Watch News Weekly. So let's hop right into it with the first segment, and that is Rolex eaten by cow reappears after 50 years. So first off, I just want to say, how does that watch just reappear?
I was reading the article and I was super confused because I assumed the cow swallowed it and they got it back after the cow died.
And how do they know it's 50? Do cows live that long?
I don't know. Who timed it?
Where does something like that pop up? Did it just end up in the grass somewhere?
Exactly.
I lost this watch 50 years ago?
So the bracelet broke. So I guess the head of the watch fell. Guy gave up, must have assumed the cow ate it. I think when you read the article, the cow didn't eat it.
I don't know the in and outs of dealing with cows, but I do know that there are cases where they put on a glove and slide it all the way in there. Could he have slid it out and the watch was just gone?
Listen.
Because cows don't eat. Unless you dropped it in the grass, how does it eat it?
It's very possible, but if my Rolex could even possibly be inside that cow, I'm sorry, but you know what's got to happen. I need that Rolex.
Does anybody know what model it was? Was it a Daytona?
Datejust. Feels like it's a Datejust.
That'd be funny if it was a Daytona and the chrono's still going. A farmer who believed his prized Rolex watch was eaten by a cow has been reunited with a timepiece half a century later. Mr. James Steele, 95, said he lost his watch in the early 1970s when he suddenly realized his bracelet had been broken. Mr. Steele of Shropshire? My apologies, anybody from Shropshire? That's a very hard one to pronounce. The cow could have eaten it with a mouthful of grass, the vet said. Now a medical detectorist has given back the watch to the owner of Treflack Hall of Morda and Oswestry after finding it on his land. Guys, did you make up these names for me not to be able to pronounce?
It's like a tongue twister right there.
Yeah. I have the watch, but it is not going. The face has been greenish, but it has not rusted up. There's got to be more to the story to uncover. Is there provenance on that watch now? If you put it into auction, will it fetch crazy money?
I don't know. His bad feedback was that it's not going. I think he meant to say it's not running. And he says the face is going greenish. Well, hey, you have a custom dial at this point.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
So it's worth crazy money.
It's patinaed.
I wonder if it's a Paul Newman.
Yeah, we'll see. New colors for the RM 6501 Richard Mille. Richard Mille 6501 split seconds chronograph in pastel blue quartz TPT and dark yellow quartz TPT.
Fire.
The first model comes in case crafted of pastel blue quartz TPT and will join the collection. The second version, issued in a limited edition of 120 pieces, features a dark yellow quartz TPT. Each color is associated with a function on the dial, thereby enhancing ease of reading. The color code is shared with the pushers and crown. On Instagram, there was a certain new ambassador for Richard Mille wearing what they called the yellow one, but it kind of looks orange.
Yeah.
And I took a second peek at it. I thought it was actually a ladies 0701 because there's a lot of men wearing ladies RMs these days. Whatever, I'm not going to comment on that. So I thought it was that up until this released. And my initial thoughts is, look, 6501 is a split-second chronograph, Richard Mille. The entry point in terms of price is very, very high. But I really, really like the fact that they're bringing back the old RM11 vibe and introducing new colors because they didn't really do much of that in the 1103s and they're doing it with the 6501s. Starting off with the gray quartz. So my favorite one out of these two is actually going to be, as they call it, the yellow one, which to us looks orange. And I'll explain to you why. I love the pastel blue. RM11, Richard Mille used to make an RM11. It was called the last edition with that same exact Tiffany or pastel blue, whatever you want to call it. So I have seen that done before.
Similar.
This one looks way crazier with everything going on. I can't wait to see them drop on the market.
For me, I like the blue. I think it's just for the orange is yellow. Well, I guess we'll see it in person and really know the color fully. But I think that it's just too much going on for me. Personally, I just feel like with all the add-ons and I'm just seeing colors everywhere. I'm thinking crayon box.
I'm a huge fan of what's going on here. And if you actually look at the indicator at the bottom right, you're going to see that the wind, neutral, and position where you set the hours. In the neutral position, it actually matches the case color, which is actually super cool. And if you look at the date, the big date at the top left, you'll see there's a blue around the date that signifies the pastel blue, and then the yellow around the orange one. So that's actually a really, really, really cool touch. And then obviously just looking at it, there's a lot going on in the watch, a lot of colors. The crown, see the crown is blue on the pastel and the crown is yellow on the orange one. Really, really cool touch.
No, you're right. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, even though there's so much going on, it's actually color coordinated really well. As weird as that sounds, like it's all
It works.
equaling out.
It just works. This thing is going to definitely hit 600,000 plus when it's released. Whew. You can now charter the owner of Patek Philippe super yacht, the Nautilus. Go figure.
That was the name of your property.
Yeah, I have a building in Philadelphia called the Nautilus, guys, and it's for sale. Thierry Stern, the owner and CEO of Patek Philippe, has a $90 million super yacht as classy as their timepiece is named after the watchmaker's most iconic collection. The 240-foot Nautilus is an explorer vessel with water toys, a Hayman, a massage room, and even a sushi station. Currently cruising in the East and West Mediterranean, the Nautilus super yacht was recently spotted near the port of Antibes in France. The Nautilus is available for charter in several cruising destinations with prices starting at $750,000 a week. Wow. In terms of amenities, the super yacht's wellness deck gets an observation lounge along with the spa with sauna, cold dip pool, hydrotherapeutic bath, and jacuzzi on the aft deck, a massage room, Hayman, I don't know if I'm even pronouncing that right, steam room, gym, and an exterior sun deck with sun pads and pod sun loungers. I mean, look, in theory, Stern is probably one of the biggest names in the watch industry, period, bar none. I mean, he's the guy that runs Patek Philippe. He's the guy that oversees everything. And who better to have a yacht like that where he can entertain clients, where he can entertain celebrities. I mean, it's perfect. And not to mention, Nautilus has always been associated with a nautical theme.
Right.
And to have a super yacht like that is actually super cool.
I mean, hey, listen, all I heard was the sushi room, and I was just like, the sushi. No, it's nice. I mean, hey, it's luxury. It stands for what their brand stands for. It makes sense. Hey, listen, if you can afford it, cool. I'd rather get a couple of your apartment buildings or multiple. I think
at that level, when you have a yacht that size, you don't have to think this or that. You just go.
Yeah, that was like a call. Like, you want this, and it was like done.
Panerai's $96,300 Submersible Elux LAB-ID with Mechanical Lume. Panerai's release of the Submersible Elux LAB-ID is a significant breakthrough in battery-less glowing watch technology. It is the first watch with mechanically powered LEDs on the hands. The PAM 01800 features an automatic movement with 4 dedicated barrels, power a microgenerator to illuminate the dial hands and bezel marker with LEDs for up to 30 minutes. Aside from the lighting system, the most notable features of the Panerai Submersible Elux LAB-ID is this titanium ceramitek case. Titanium ceramitek was first unveiled on one of Panerai 2024 releases from Watches and Wonders, and essentially titanium with a layer of ceramic grown on top via plasma electrolytic oxidation. That's a mouthful.
Dude, they really tried to challenge you just to read that.
This is just another idea of brands really pushing the boundaries and trying to make something ridiculous to stand out.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, listen, it immediately gives me the glow look of a G-Shock, and hey, listen, if it's batteryless and it's automatic, I mean, why not? They're just trying to add something to a watch that does fairly well.
So to be fair, Panerai is well known to having ties with the Italian Navy as well as the military. Panerai is very well associated with that. And their submersible obviously is going to be used for diving. So funny enough, I'm going to tie this back to that crazy deep sea challenger that we got in the other day, and where you have watches where you can dive, and then you have watches where you can like dive. You know what I mean? To crazy depths. That deep sea challenge, I mean, everyone thinks that that's the most ridiculous watch, but if you really think about it, if you were actually going to like crazy depths and you were going to wear a watch, that would actually make sense under a wetsuit. It's actually something you can read, which brings me back to this. This is exactly what that watch is for. Nobody's going to be wearing this in the daylight. This is for some avid Panerai fans that are going deep diving, this submersible.
Yeah, it makes sense when you think about it that way, for sure. You're not going to wear this out to a dinner,
No.
You're not. Look crazy doing that.
Patek Philippe is not happy. Sylvester Stallone flipped that $5.4 million Grandmaster Chime. Sylvester Stallone flipped the sealed Patek Philippe Grandmaster Chime at Sotheby's for $5.4 million, and Patek Philippe's president isn't happy about it. Patek's president, Thierry Stern, told Watch Pro recently regarding Stallone's sale, "It is not fair for a client that may have been waiting for the piece for many years and then sees it being sold. Stallone's choice to keep the watch in its packaging can be seen as classic flipper behavior. Most flippers keep the watches in their original packaging, never wear them, and effectively sell these hard-to-get watches as new." Stern wasn't definitive about whether Stallone was cut off from retail purchases or not, but it seems Rocky may have dealt himself a hard blow to fight for hot peaks. Mr. Stern, You got a $90 million super yacht and you're still complaining about things like this.
I mean, I don't understand the argument personally. I mean, listen, the guy kept it a lot of years. He has multiple watches. He has a huge collection. I don't know if at that moment he knew that this was going to be the case. And even if he did, it's like, I'm sure the guy spent crazy money with them as well.
Patek Philippe, the reason that you're so successful is because there are actors out there, and I mean this not because he's an actor, but I mean actors by people that go out there, buy your product, resell on the market, which then in turn makes your brand far more valuable. That puts people in your stores to buy leverage pieces that you would not otherwise sell like you're doing today.
For sure.
This is nothing but good for the company. This is not behavior that doesn't happen multiple times a day. The only difference here is that he's a prominent actor. And in fact, a $5.4 million result today is fantastic for your brand. So I don't know what there is to be upset about.
All press is good press in a situation. Like, it's a headline story. It's a big name actor. And it's just bringing more recognition to the brand. It's like, if anything, it's just more compliments to the brand and its value. I don't know. If I'm Sylvester Stallone, I'm kind of feeling some type of way. I mean, and he's a big name. I'm sure he could buy this watch.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if there's anything. I don't think the guy needs the money. I don't know. Listen, I don't count his dollars. But to my understanding, this is probably for a good cause. And shout out to Rocky, baby. You know,
you can't ask a bunch of Philly guys about Rocky. It's only going to go one way.
We're rocking with Philadelphia here, you know. Rocky's got the statue, Stallone, big fan. The fact that he wanted to go out there and sell this watch, it's going to go into, I'm sure, somebody very special's hands. This is one of the greatest watches of all time. And to my knowledge, I think this is a record for the highest watch sold, modern watch sold.
The fact that it's sealed is incredible, too. I have to give props to that.
Yeah. So I guess that's what they mean when they say flipper behavior, because back in the day, the whole thing was like, you keep them in the seal and then flip them off. Obviously, if you keep them in the seal, that means that it's true new, that it was not worn before. But I think he's had this for a few years, so I don't know.
Let me ask you one thing. Do you think he had the intention going in at that time?
When he first bought it?
At that time.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's like you with the RMs.
Because I think he sold off not only this watch, but a few other watches. I think it was for a greater cause. Listen, collectors throughout time, they buy stuff they're passionate about, and they have every right to do whatever they want with their collection, right? So.
And I can't help but think, imagine if this was a piece he just picked up.
Yeah, I don't think he just picked it up. Yeah. Which, by the way, if you want to see some of that collection, we have a video here on Roman Sharf's channel where you can see his entire collection that he's putting in the auction. That was pretty exciting. We wrapped up from everything from a cow taking a dump and then a Rolex coming out 50 years later to RM's exciting news. Patek Philippe, Thierry Stern's very exotic yacht and lifestyle, and then him crying about somebody selling one of his watches. So we covered a lot of topics in between. Listen. We will see you next time on Watch News Weekly. Make sure you comment, like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next week.